Chapter 11. How can the golden scales be an object in a pond? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 11. How can the golden scales be an object in a pond? Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Lin Mo continued to meditate as the frost sword floated in mid-air. The divine weapon in front of him seemed to have been forged from ice and snow. At the same time, the blade reflected his sharp side profile and kept emitting a cold aura. This icy aura was completely absorbed by Lin Mo. It flowed through the various meridians in his body while constantly tempering with his muscles, bones, blood, and flesh. It was as if his blood was tainted by an extremely cold aura. At the same time, a white figure swiftly passed by Lin Mo. It was so fast that it was almost impossible to catch with one's naked eyes. Upon closer inspection, the figure seemed to be the shape of a fish. It was very small. Yet, it did not seem to be restricted by anything. It came and went without a trace. Time went by as Lin Mo cultivated. It had already been 6 days since the last auction. There was still one more day before the next auction. After some calculations, Lin Mo slowly opened his eyes. The icy blue color in his eyes disappeared in an instant. It seemed like the entire space was enveloped by ice and snow. However, everything returned to normal in an instant. Lin Mo restrained his aura. All the spiritual energy returned to his body and no changes could be seen based on his external appearance. In fact, Lin Mo looked no different from when he first arrived. Only he himself knew about his improvements. He was basically the strongest person in Chushin village. In fact, it would be hard to find someone that was on equal footing with him. Uncle Wang and Wu Jin had been waiting outside for a long time. Wu Jin looked at the sky and said worriedly, "What's the time?" Young master couldn't have forgotten about the auction, right? As far as Uncle Wang knew, Lin Mo was always punctual. The young master said that he would come out today. He'll definitely keep his word. Wu Jin and Lin Mo had not spent much time together, so they did not really know each other. Even after hearing what Uncle Wang said, Wu Jin was unable to relax. There's only one more day until the auction, I'm afraid. As the two of them were talking, they suddenly felt their surrounding temperature drop. It felt like a snowstorm was about to occur. Suddenly, Uncle Wang sensed an extremely familiar aura. He blurted happily, "It's the young master." As soon as he said that, Lin Mo appeared. His figure fluctuated, like an ice pine growing on a cliff. A cold aura swept over Uncle Wang and Wu Jin. They could not help but shiver. Although Uncle Wang and Wu Jin could not exactly gauge Lin Mo's strength, they knew that he was completely different compared to before. Uncle Wang's respect for Lin Mo grew even deeper. After all, he knew Lin Mo's background. His strength was originally far less profound than it was now. In such a short period of time, Lin Mo had advanced so much. The moment Lin Mo came out, it felt as if there was a blizzard. "Congratulations, young master. Your cultivation seems to have been successful." Wu Jin was following closely from behind. Lin Mo nodded indifferently. "How's the situation these few days?" "During the days you've been cultivating, the strength of various mercenary groups in Chushin village has gone through a change." At this point, Uncle Wang could not help but feel a little emotional. Before Lin Mo's arrival, the strength of the mercenary groups in Chushin village had remained unchanged. The three parties had always maintained a three-way balance and no one could do anything to the other. Although they wanted to make a name for themselves, they lacked the opportunity. Lin Mo's arrival had stirred up a storm. The situation was no longer as stable as before. In terms of individual strength, the leader of the Dragon Tiger mercenary group is on par with the leader of the Wolf mercenary group. I wonder if the leader of the Wolf mercenary group has devoted himself to training the Dragon Elephant Fist technique. Of course, this was not the most important piece of news. Uncle Wang could not contain his joy as he said, "In the past few days, many foreign powers have come to Chushin village. They want to participate in the next auction." Uncle Wang had been extremely busy during the past few days. Although he was tired, he was happy. It had been a long time since he experienced such a lively scene. "That's good, but I will be leaving Chushin village soon." Wu Jin turned pale. "What? Young Master Lin Mo will be leaving soon?" Uncle Wang was not surprised. On the contrary, he had expected it. After all, Lin Mo was not an ordinary person. Clearly, Chushin village could not tie him down. BVEC, that's right. After all, the resources in Chushin village are limited. They don't match up to the young master's potential. The young master should be free to venture into the skies. It was already troublesome to collect a Tier 4 item in Chushin village. Getting higher tier items was essentially impossible. Moreover, the Tier 4 items were simply inefficient for Lin Mo's current status. Staying in this village any longer would just be a waste of time and energy. Lin Mo had long-term goals. Even after hearing that Lin Mo would leave soon, Uncle Wang's enthusiasm was not dampened. He wanted to ensure the upcoming auction's success. After all, this was an opportunity to fulfill Lin Mo's wishes. "As per the young master's request, I've been collecting auction items non-stop these past few days. The locals no longer have any possessions that meet your requirements. Although there are quite a number of people here, most of them are foreigners. Hence, I've only managed to secure 3 items. First, a Tier 4 low-grade martial art ring blade technique. Secondly, a Tier 4 low-grade inner core of demonic beast, fierce tiger. Lastly, a Tier 4 high-grade gold thread big ring blade." Uncle Wang looked at Lin Mo worriedly. He had only collected a few items and was afraid that he had let his young master down. Although Lin Mo's expectations were not high, he could not help but feel a little disappointed after hearing Uncle Wang's words. As expected, he would not be able to obtain any good items from Chushin village. Even so, Lin Mo did not show any signs of his disappointment. Besides, these items were enough for the entire auction. So, he consoled Uncle Wang, "It's alright. They're pretty good." Wu Jin rubbed his palms together. He was very confident in the upcoming auction. After patting his chest, he reassured Lin Mo, "Young master, don't worry. The atmosphere this time will definitely be more lively than before. I'll try my best to sell the items at a higher price." Chapter 12. Hidden Dangers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 12. Hidden Dangers. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Cloud arrival inn at Chushin village was the only inn within a radius of 100 miles. As night fell, the small inn welcomed a group of guests. Although they wore ordinary clothes, they emitted a murderous aura. Clearly, their hands were stained with countless amounts of blood. How else would they produce such an aura? The innkeeper hid in a corner. After the waiter served the dishes, he quickly hid as well. He was afraid to catch this group of people's attention. On the other hand, the group's target was not here, so they were not interested in causing trouble. They just drank large amounts of wine and ate big mouthfuls of meat. Even with such normal acts, they still gave off a murderous aura. The leader of the group had a long scar that ran through his entire face. Half of his face was curled up like a centipede. He looked absolutely ferocious and terrifying. The leader laughed coldly. His eyes were overflowing with killing intent. "Tui. That kid is really lucky. I can't believe he didn't die after that incident." Perhaps they didn't know that Lin Mo had some strength, so they just robbed him. They're really stupid to the extreme. These people were the group of bandits who had robbed Lin Mo previously. On the surface, they appeared to be robbing him, but in reality, they were sent to assassinate Lin Mo. "Boss, The leaders of those mercenary groups have auctioned off Lin Mo's items and they said they're going soft on him. When the time comes, will they stop us? Scarface spat out, ha. Even if the leader is willing to help, nobody can protect the person I want to kill. The aura Scarface emitted was at least the peak of level 7. It was no surprise that he was not afraid of the mercenary groups. I might as well just rob the auction house and kill Lin Mo. As he spoke, the scarred-faced man made a hand gesture of slitting someone's throat. His sinister laughter could clearly be heard, causing others to shudder in fear. At this moment, Lin Mo was still unaware of the impending crisis. The auction venue was packed with people. It was even more lively than before. Those who came late did not even have a seat. It was indeed a grand occasion. The captain of the Dragon Tiger mercenary group is here. It was unknown who shouted this, but Li Yunfei walked in with large strides. His aura was steady and powerful while his eyes were like lightning, brimming with spirit. The crowd naturally made way for him. Everyone could see the changes in Li Yunfei's body. Leader Li is full of energy. He looks so extraordinary. I reckon his strength has already reached the peak of level 6. He's no longer inferior to the leader of the Wolf mercenary group. The people had guessed correctly. When Li Yunfei overheard their praises, the corners of his mouth unknowingly curved upwards. Shortly after, he came across Lin Mo. As if he had just seen a relative, Li Yunfei passionately greeted him. They actually seemed like good friends who had not seen each other for many years. In reality, this was only the second time they met. Young Master Lin Mo, it's been a long time since we last met. Thanks to you, I've managed to improve my cultivation a little. I really don't know how to express my gratitude. Anyway, if you have anything good this time, keep it for me. After all, good water does not flow to outsiders' fields, Tien. It means keeping all the benefits to oneself or one's own family. Everyone was a little surprised to see Li Yunfei's excited and attentive expression. After all, he had always been arrogant. Who knew he had such a humble side? Commander Xuefu has arrived. The Lord of Qingyang City has arrived. A few unfamiliar faces entered. The auction house was like a moon surrounded by stars. Those people with power and position took the seats that were reserved for them. They are all foreign experts. I've heard of them, but I've never seen them in person. I didn't expect to see them here. Apparently, they all have peak level 6 strength. Some of them even have signs of breaking through. They're not inferior to Li Yunfei in any form. Everyone sighed. They did not expect so many powerful people to attend. However, the leader of the Wolf mercenary group was nowhere to be seen. Nonetheless, it was understandable. He must be cultivating the Tier 5 top-grade cultivation technique and was unable to spare some time. Even if he did not attend this auction, he would not lose out much. As everyone took their seats, Wu Jin walked to the center of the stage. The auction had officially begun. The first item is a Tier 4 low-grade inner core of demonic beast, Fierce Tiger. Starting price is 2,500 low-grade spirit stones. The inner core appeared to be milky white. It was floating in mid-air and was emitting a lustrous jade-like glow. There seemed to be starlight flickering within, nurturing the essence of the demonic beast. Previously, Li Yunfei had bid for a medicinal herb. He had yet to completely absorb the medicinal effects. So, this inner core was not of much use to him. In other words, he did not need it for the time being. After all, he could only chew on so much. It was better to save his spirit stones. Besides, the upcoming items may be more suitable for him. Not many people placed a bid. The first item was priced at 2,500 spirit stones, which many could not afford. The item is good, but unfortunately, it's not something that people like us can afford. 5,000 low-grade spirit stones. The person who called out that price was Zhao Junyu, the leader of Blood Harvest. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a Tier 4 low-grade inner core of Demonic Beast, Fierce Tiger. Successful triggering of 100 times return, obtained a Tier 5 low grade inner core of Demonic Beast, Bao Hu. The second item is a Tier 4 high-grade gold thread big ring blade. Starting price is 5,000 low-grade spirit stones. Chapter 13. Uninvited guests. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 13. Uninvited guests. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. A golden blade appeared on the stage. The pressure emitted was enough to convince people that it was extraordinary. Li Yunfei's expression instantly changed. He looked like a wolf that had just smelled blood after a long time. A determined glint flashed across his eyes. That blade is basically tailor-made for me. Li Yunfei was known for his blade techniques. Recently, he had been struggling to find a suitable weapon. It caused him a lot of distress. A fitting weapon was needed for good performance. The gold thread big ring blade was a must for Li Yunfei. 8,000 low-grade spirit stones. The moment Li Yunfei opened his mouth, everyone stopped in their tracks. They knew that Li Yunfei specialized in using blades and did not want to compete with him. Besides, the price was soaring sky-high. In the end, Li Yunfei successfully bought the gold thread big ring blade. Ding! The host has successfully auctioned a Tier 4 high-grade gold thread big ring blade. Successfully triggered 100 times return. Obtained a Tier 5 low-grade weapon, cross blade. Although only 2 items had been auctioned, the atmosphere was very lively. It was essentially a mini-climax. After all, the auctioned items were not common. Furthermore, there were a lot of powerful people present. Those who did not manage to buy anything had their horizons broadened. This trip was not a waste. The patrons were discussing so enthusiastically with each other that no one noticed a group of uninvited guests arriving at the entrance. Only Lin Mo's sharp eyes spotted them. These people. He furrowed his brows. There was a lingering feeling that he had seen them somewhere before. Although these people were dressed in ordinary clothes, the aura they emitted could not fool anyone. Their viciousness and malevolence indicated that they had come with ill intentions, especially the scar-faced man in the lead. It's them. Aren't they the robbers who had killed the original soul of this body? They're the reason that I've transmigrated to this world. Uncle Wang noticed Lin Mo's strange behavior and asked, "Young master, what's wrong?" "Those people are the crooks who had robbed me back then." Upon hearing that, Uncle Wang's expression changed drastically. "I'm sure they did not come with good intentions. Should we?" Although the group of robbers had tried to restrain their aura, it still occasionally flowed out of their bodies. This was an indication of their strength. It was not low. Most of the people in the auction house were just ordinary folks. Even if there were quite a number of experts present, this situation had nothing to do with them. There was no need for them to get into any conflict. Don't worry, these people are nothing to be afraid of. Lin Mo had an indifferent look on his face. Based on his current level, this bunch of robbers was nothing but clowns. His words calmed Uncle Wang. The old butler believed in his young master. Lin Mo gazed at the group of robbers as if it was piercing through them. It seemed like new and old grudges would be settled at the same time. The group of robbers did not expect to be recognized so quickly. They casually found a place to sit, not knowing that all their movements were being tracked. Soon, the third item for auction made its appearance. The third auction item is a Tier 4 low-grade martial art, ring blade technique. Starting price is 6,000 low-grade spirit stones. Li Yunfei stood up excitedly. Since he had obtained the gold thread big ring blade earlier, this technique would certainly complement it. Without a doubt, his power would increase greatly. However, before he could speak, someone had already made the first bid. 60,000 low-grade spirit stones. Li Yunfei could not help but be taken aback. From 6,000 to 60,000, was the bidder insane? It was not some top-grade cultivation technique, so it was clearly not worth this price. Either this person had too much money to spend or there was something wrong with his head. The crowd did not expect to hear such a price either, and the entire place fell silent. Everyone turned their heads to look at the bidder. It was none other than the scar-face man. He looked back at the crowd with a proud expression. Aren't they a group of robbers? Why are they here? Most people immediately recognized their identities. It filled them with fear and despair. The scar-face leader was especially memorable. Obviously, he was hard to forget with such a distinct feature. The scar-faced robber was infamous in this vicinity. He and his group had robbed plenty of houses and committed all sorts of crimes. As long as they were paid well, they would accept any mission. They had no morals at all. Furthermore, this group of robbers was not afraid of death. They would fearlessly fight against the mercenary groups. Ordinary mercenary groups had suffered a lot under their hands, so even they would try to avoid them. The auction house fell into a deathly silence. Such a high price. Does he actually have that amount of spirit stones? After all, he only knows how to rob others. Someone spoke with dissatisfaction. His companion beside him was completely on edge. Shoo, keep your voice down. Don't you want to live? Just as he finished speaking, Scarface's sinister gaze landed on him. The leader of the robbers made a cutting throat gesture. His threat was self-evident. The two people were so frightened that they quickly lowered their heads, not daring to make another sound. As for the rest of the crowd, they did not utter a single word either. This group of robbers was deliberately looking for trouble. They raised the price to such an extent so no one else could participate. Wu Jin also understood the situation, so he did not continue with the usual procedure. I'm willing to pay the highest price. Hurry up and give me the item. The scar-face man urged Wu Jin. At the same time, he deliberately provoked him, do you even know how an auction works? Although he said that, the leader of the robbers did not take out any spirit stones. Evidently, he was trying to get something for nothing. Wu Jin was caught in a dilemma and looked at Lin Mo. Give it to him. Chapter 14. Knock on the door, Lin Mo makes a move. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 14. Knock on the door, Lin Mo makes a move. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation, but, Lin Mo gave Wu Jin a comforting look. Give it to him, but I won't let anyone leave without paying. These words were very direct. However, Scarface was indifferent when he received the item. He even pretended to be dumb. This was a very awkward situation. Lin Mo calmly said, are you trying to go back on your words? The scar-face man snorted coldly and said in a confident tone, your small auction house should feel honored for having me here. You dare to ask me for spirit stones. Lin Mo's pupils were clear and bright. He was not shaken at all. In fact, Scarface felt a faint chill when their gazes met and he quickly looked away in an embarrassed manner. He said angrily, this is just a lousy auction house. Are you guys stupid? Why don't you all just directly rob it? Pay with actual spirit stones. Seriously. Lin Mo does not have any strength. He's merely fooling all of you. Everyone in the crowd looked at each other. They did not know how to respond. Scarface spitted disdainfully at the side. You're all a bunch of spineless fools. None of you even dare to make a move against this piece of trash. Upon hearing that, some people's expressions did change. As the scar-face man said, Lin Mo had never really shown his strength. In fact, he looked just like an ordinary person. How did an ordinary person like him manage to collect so many resources? He even got a tier 5 item. Those thoughts filled some minds. Lin Mo had probably used some special method or magic tool to conceal his power level. At first, they thought Lin Mo was simply keeping a low profile. After hearing Scarface's words, they felt that something was a little strange. When the Blood Harvest leader, Qingyang City's lord, and other powerful patrons saw the tense atmosphere, they got a little excited. They were not local factions, so they did not mind if things fell into chaos. Moreover, they had no plans to participate in the feud between Lin Mo and the group of robbers. The more chaotic the situation became, the greater the possibility of them profiting. They might even be able to take a share of the spoils. On the other hand, Li Yunfei could not sit still. He shouted angrily, "You're going too far. There's no such thing as a free meal in this world." This caught Lin Mo off guard. He turned around and looked at Li Yunfei. There was a look of admiration and gratitude in the latter's eyes. Whoever dares to cause trouble here will have to face the Dragon Tiger mercenary group. Li Yunfei greatly admired Lin Mo because he stood up against the robbers all by himself. Moreover, the low-grade tier 4 worry-free grass that he obtained from this auction house previously had brought him a lot of benefits. It even helped him reach the peak of level 6. The scar-face man had level 7 strength. Although Li Yunfei knew he was no match for him, he still wanted to help Lin Mo. It was a way of paying the latter back. He was willing to fight by his side. Scarface revealed a disdainful expression. The Dragon Tiger mercenary group. You've only reached the peak of level 6. Yet, you dare to challenge me. You're digging your own grave. He continued to say ferociously, to anyone else who isn't afraid of death, feel free to step forward. The crowd subconsciously lowered their heads. They dared not meet Scarface's gaze. Other than Li Yunfei, no one else stood up for Lin Mo. This was not unexpected. After all, when it came to life and death, no one was willing to meddle in other people's business. Scarface secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he was infamous. Otherwise, if this many people joined forces, he might not be able to win. Lin Mo remained calm on the surface, but he was quite moved by Li Yunfei's righteous words. At the same time, he knew that after leaving Chushin Villager, he would face more danger as such or worse. So what if your level is higher than mine? We still don't know the outcome. Li Yunfei was the leader of the Dragon Tiger mercenary group. How could he allow others to look down on him? If word got out, not only him but even the Dragon Tiger mercenary group would be shamed. Just as he was about to make a move, Lin Mo stopped him. I appreciate your help, but I'll deal with him. But, Li Yunfei was a little worried. However, before he could say another word, a white light appeared on Lin Mo's hand. A shadow jumped out rapidly, creating gusts of cold wind. The shadow was moving so quickly that almost no one could see it clearly. All of a sudden, they heard a scream coming from Scarface's group. Ah! The air was filled with a strong smell of blood. My face! My face! One of the robbers had blood dripping down his face. A large piece of flesh had been torn off, revealing his white bones. It was a terrifying sight. There was a row of sharp teeth marks. It was likely that he had been gnawed on by some kind of animal. Despite that, nobody had seen such a mark before. Everyone could not help but touch their faces. They could almost feel the pain just based on the robber's cry. They kept looking around, but all they could see was a vague shadow. Even the outline of that creature was not apparent. What creature is that? It's so powerful. What's going on? Scarface did not even see how that thing attacked. Then, another wave of miserable cries could be heard. All his lackeys' faces had become completely unrecognizable. The scene was simply ghastly. Some of the robbers did not even have a single piece of flesh on their faces. Only teeth marks could be seen. The robbers fell to the ground after losing too much blood. Be on guard. Everyone, don't panic. Scarface shouted hysterically, but it was ineffective. The robbers tried to escape. They were so desperate that they even trampled on their fallen comrades. The white creature kept following them like a ghost. Death was inevitable. Chapter 15. The Lookout Fish. Lin Mo's Intimidation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 15. The Lookout Fish. Lin Mo's Intimidation. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Scarface could only watch helplessly as his companions fell one by one. He gathered all of his spiritual power and attempted to grab on the creature. However, the creature was simply too fast. It slipped off his hands every single time. Sometimes, his skills would miss and land on the other robbers instead. This caused them even more agony. The robbers who were still able to fight followed suit. All kinds of martial skills and spiritual power were released. Since they could not escape the creature, they might as well fight back. However, they could not even properly see its shadow, let alone hit it. The situation became more chaotic and the number of casualties increased. This scene made Scarblade exasperated. He had no choice but to ask for help from others. Who's willing to help us? However, the rest of the people avoided him like the plague. Before long, his surroundings were empty. The cries of the robbers rose and fell. Only Scarface was safe and unharmed. He was not attacked by the white shadow. This was basically mental torture for him. A quick death was nothing, but his companions were dying in a tragic and painful manner. Even robbers who had been living on the edge for years were scared. Scarface had never felt so powerless. Large beads of sweat slid down his forehead. His eyes were bloodshot. He glared fiercely at Lin Mo. This is your fault. Lin Mo looked completely calm. Clearly, he did not seem to care. An unprecedented chill rose in Scarface's heart. He realized that he had offended the wrong person. What can you do to me? That sentence was extremely lethal. The blood color on Scarface's eyes suddenly faded and they turned pale instead. Still, he was an ambitious person. So once again, the scar-face man revealed a ferocious expression. I want your life. Despite that, upon closer inspection, one could see his eyes were filled with fear. Scarface charged towards Lin Mo. Uncle Wong's heart was beating rapidly. He could not help but shout, "Young master, be careful." Lin Mo sneered. He could tell that Scarface was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. With a slight wave of his hand, a huge air current formed in the center. Scarface could not even get close. He instantly flew a few feet away. Everyone was dumbstruck. They thought that they were hallucinating. After all, Scarface was a level 7 powerhouse. Even Li Yunfei was no match for him. Yet, Lin Mo was able to defeat him with a wave of his hand. He did not even use any martial art or cultivation techniques. If he could deal with Scarface so effortlessly, one could only imagine how powerful he was. That's it. Everyone was in disbelief. They recalled Scarface's earlier claims. You're telling me that he's an ordinary person? Who are you trying to fool? The Blood Harvest leader, Qinyang City's lord, and the rest originally only thought of this situation as a show, but now, their expressions had turned serious. Their gazes toward Lin Mo were filled with curiosity and fear. You. Surprisingly, Scarface was still able to stand up. After what Lin Mo had put him through, most people thought he was dead. Supposedly, Lin Mo was only a level 1 trash. How did he gain so much strength in such a short period of time? With a wail, Scarface spat out a mouthful of blood. It was unknown whether he was angry or shocked. Look at those robbers. Suddenly, everyone realized that they could no longer hear the screams of the robbers. Only Scarface was left standing in the middle of the venue. Creak. Crack. A bone-chilling sound rang out in the air. Scarface's body stiffened. He turned his head back in disbelief. The robbers who had come with him had already been gnawed on until only their bones were left. His eyes were wide open. It was as if his eyeballs were about to pop out. Any hope of him emerging victorious had been completely crushed. He said in a crazed manner, "This is impossible." At the same time, the white shadow in the air finally stopped moving. Its outline began to slowly take shape. The creature turned out to be an extremely large fish. White scales covered its entire body. They were as sharp as blades. When the fish swam, it could split the air in half. Steel-like fins were stuck to both sides of its body. They looked as thin as a cicada's wings, but they were actually indestructible. The most shocking thing was the fish's teeth. Without a doubt, they could crush a person's skull with a single bite. It's actually a fish. People had been trying to guess what type of creature could annihilate Scarface and his group. They never expected it to be a fish, as that did not make any sense. What kind of species is it? It's not restricted by land or water, and it's so ferocious. Even the most ruthless blackwater fish was nothing like it. Ordinary fish could only live in water. Once they got out, their attack power would be greatly reduced. If they stayed out for too long, they might even die. Scarface's eyes were filled with fear as he shouted, "Don't eat me. I'll tell you a secret." Lin Mo raised his eyebrows and walked over. What secret? At this moment, Scarface was heavily injured and did not have the strength to fight back. Thus, Lin Mo was not afraid of any sneak attacks. Scarface lowered his voice so no one could hear him. After whispering something, he tried to make a run for it. Lin Mo's expression changed slightly. Scarface knew that he would not be able to escape. His heart was filled with regret. Why did he accept this mission and provoked Lin Mo? Unfortunately for him, Lin Mo had no plans of being merciful. His eyes turned cold. You want to escape? It won't be easy. Chapter 16. Total Annihilation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 16. Total Annihilation. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. You lied to me. Scarface was filled with fear. The lookout fish began moving again. A white shadow got closer and closer to him. An image of a row of sharp fangs was the last thing Scarface saw before he lost consciousness. Ding dong. A crisp sound could be heard. Then, a ring fell from Scarface's body. If the owner died, their belongings that were originally bound would be forsaken. Blood flowed on the ground like a small stream. It was rapidly absorbed and automatically entered the fish's body. The fish's white scales flickered with a faint red light. With that, the scene was no longer bloody. In fact, things looked very calm. It was as if nothing had happened. However, everyone who had witnessed the incident would probably remember it for the rest of their lives. Who knew the high and mighty Scarface would end up like this? Even his bones were not left behind. Everyone let out a sigh. This was the first time they had seen such a huge disparity in strength. Scarface was level 7. Yet, he did not stand a chance against Lin Mo. It was truly shocking. Even the Blood Harvest leader and Qingyang City's lord had dispelled their previous thoughts of wanting more chaos. He's so powerful at such a young age. It makes me feel ashamed. That's right. I believe that the auction house will continue to grow under his administration. In the future, it will dominate this area. The Lin family is really different. Lin Mo, if you ever need anything, just let us know. We will definitely do whatever we can for you. While everyone was praising him, Lin Mo calmly went to pick up Scarface's ring. There were also 10,000 low-grade spirit stones that he had previously robbed. In addition to his life savings, it was a total of 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Lin Mo was instantly put in a good mood. He had basically become rich. Since he no longer lacked spirit stones, there was no need for him to auction off the Tier 5 top-grade Chaos Pill. I'm very sorry, everyone. Due to the unexpected incident, this auction has come to an end. His announcement caused an uproar. What's the meaning of this? Some people understood Lin Mo's decision. Although Scarface had been dealt with, the atmosphere had turned extremely awkward. Ding. Successfully triggered 50 times return. Obtained a Tier 5 top-grade Heaven and Earth Blade technique. Lin Mo was surprised to hear the system's notification in his mind. After all, he had yet to auction off the Tier 5 top-grade Chaos Pill. According to the system's recognition, even though the auction had failed, Lin Mo did fulfill his duties as an auctioneer. Hence, he was able to trigger a return. After figuring this out, Lin Mo took out the Heaven and Earth Blade technique and said, "Originally, I planned to auction this off, but I've changed my mind." As soon as he finished speaking, he took out the Ring Blade technique that Scarface had basically mugged earlier. After that, he handed them both to Li Yunfei. "Here, these are for you." Li Yunfei was completely caught off guard. For a moment, he was unable to return to his senses. "Lin Mo, what are you doing? These are too valuable." "I can't," Lin Mo reaffirmed. "Li Yunfei, you had just bought the gold thread big ring blade, so you'll need some blade techniques. As I cultivate sword techniques, these two items are of no use to me. Please do not decline. Take them as my thank you gift." Li Yunfei's lips trembled. He was speechless for a long time. After all, he could not stand the injustice and merely said a few words. Lin Mo dealt with Scarface and the other robbers all by himself. Yet, he was the one receiving such valuable gifts. "I'm ashamed to accept them." "It's fine." The others were so jealous that their eyes turned red. Seeing that Li Yunfei was still declining, they wished that they could accept them on his behalf. At the same time, they felt extremely regretful. If they had stood on Lin Mo's side and spoke up for him, perhaps he would have given them a Tier 5 cultivation technique as well. A fate-changing opportunity was right in front of their eyes, but they did not seize it. A Tier 5 cultivation technique was definitely not common. Furthermore, it would cost a lot to get one. Quite a number of people in the auction house began hitting their chests and stomping their feet. They sighed and felt extremely regretful. In the end, since there was no way to decline, Li Yunfei finally accepted the gifts. Obviously, he was excited. He knew the value of these techniques in his hands and was extremely grateful towards Lin Mo. "Lin Mo, if you ever need any help, just let me know. Don't treat me as an outsider." Li Yunfei's trip this time was not a waste at all. In fact, he had made a huge profit. He could not even close his mouth due to the happiness. Before everyone could compose themselves, Lin Mo's dropped another bomb. "There is no such thing as an endless feast. Thank you all for your support. I will be leaving Chushin village soon. Although I have not been in the village for long, I won't forget the times I've had here." After all, Lin Mo had grown up a lot in this place. He could not help but feel emotional. Unfortunately, the resources from this place could no longer increase his strength. If he stayed here, it would be a waste of time. Moreover, he had just found out that Scarface and his group were actually sent by the clan to kill him. His existence was a stain of shame to the clan. Hence, there were some people who wished to get rid of him as soon as possible. However, there was nothing he could do with this piece of information. Lin Mo did not have any evidence. Even if he did, it was useless. They definitely had a high status in the clan if they dared to hire assassins to kill him. Chapter 17. Danger from the family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 17. Danger from the family. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The family had already given up on Lin Mo and they would not punish those with high positions for him. In this world, strength was the most important. The weak were destined to be bullied. A sense of danger rose in Lin Mo's heart. The person behind the scenes had failed this time, but they definitely would not give up easily. He had to increase his strength as soon as possible and prepare for the family competition in 3 months' time. At the same time, he had to avoid his pursuers. After all, their levels were unknown. Meanwhile, at the Lin family household, a number of respected elders had gathered together. Their gazes landed on the leader's seat. The second elder sat upright with an imposing manner. "What are you people doing? I heard that Lin Mo is still alive." The other elders looked at each other. They had no idea what was going on either. Those robbers that were sent to kill Lin Mo are at the peak of level 7. It shouldn't be a problem to deal with trash like him. To ensure a favorable outcome, they had dispatched experts to deal with Lin Mo. Things should have gone smoothly. Nobody expected it to turn out this way. Could it be that Lin Mo had already recovered? That's impossible. Even if he recovered, he shouldn't be a match for the robbers. Trash will always be trash. Everyone knew that there was a huge gap between levels 6 and 7. It was obvious who would emerge the victor. Nobody expected Lin Mo's cultivation to grow at such a terrifying speed. It was a pity that Scarface and his group were completely annihilated. They did not know what exactly happened. I heard that he got lucky and obtained a demonic beast. That must be it. Indeed, some people with low strength could subdue powerful demonic beasts through fortuitous encounters. This explanation was much more believable. This kid's luck isn't bad. The second elder had a dark and unfathomable expression on his face. His eyes were cold and cruel. He won't be so lucky next time. I have to get rid of him as soon as possible without anyone's knowledge. In that case, dispatch a level 9 expert. Once we find Lin Mo's location, we can instantly deal with him. Lin Mo had no idea that he was going to face another crisis. He was in a secret room behind the auction house, cultivating the Frost Sword Manual. It was a continuation. The resources obtained from the second auction were no use to him. Instead of wasting, he saved them for the tier 5 low-grade inner core of a demonic beast, Bao Hu. They could be used for refinement. To an ordinary person, it was much more difficult to absorb the inner core of a demonic beast than medicinal herbs and pills. The latter two were more gentle in nature. On the other hand, demonic beasts tend to have violent temperaments. Their inner cores were contaminated with destructive qi. As a result, it was extremely difficult to absorb. Furthermore, if a person was not careful, their bloodline would expand. Then, it would explode, bringing death to the individual. However, this was not a problem for Lin Mo. After all, he possessed the god-slaying body. Everything could be swallowed and suppressed. Once he cultivated to the perfection stage, he could kill any god, even Buddha. The inner core of a small demonic beast was not difficult to absorb. Furthermore, it was only a low-grade tier 5 demonic beast's inner core. Once again, the golden inner core became incomparably dazzling. Countless specks of light surged into Lin Mo's body. Shortly after, they gradually dissipated. The inner core became dull. Its originally golden exterior slowly turned gray. The spiritual energy within was swept away and the essence was completely absorbed by Lin Mo. A layer of gas surged and it rapidly rotated around him. Lin Mo's entire body was covered. Again, from a distance, he looked like an enormous white cocoon. The spiritual energy within his body was rapidly growing. He had reached level 7 in one go. Bang! An invisible substance poured out from within his body. At the same time, the frost sword cultivation technique was also circulating through his meridians and various major acupoints. Lin Mo breathed in and out. There was some sort of rhythm to it. A frosty aura spread out, causing the ground and walls to be covered in a thick layer of ice. The surrounding temperature was extremely cold. If an ordinary person were to step in without any protection, they would be severely injured. Worst case scenario, their internal organs would be frozen, causing instant death. The frosty chi continued to assault Lin Mo. At this moment, he had achieved perfection and finished cultivating the Frost Sword Manual. Lin Mo slowly opened his eyes. It was as if a violent snowstorm had swept over the world. However, in a blink of an eye, the ice and snow disappeared. Even the temperature returned to normal. Everything that had happened earlier almost felt like an illusion. Lin Mo did not refine the remaining resources. He only tidied up his things in preparation for the upcoming auction. After all, what he would encounter after leaving Chushin village was unknown. If I encounter a level 8 or 9 powerhouse, I should be able to fight them. Lin Mo was not trying to brag. It was just facts. After mastering the Frost Sword technique and Frost Sword Manual, his combat strength had increased exponentially. Furthermore, he still had quite a number of resources in his hands such as the Tier 5 top.grade Chow Pill, a Tier 5 low.grade Cross Blade, and more. In the future, he would be able to get even better items from the system. Additionally, Lin Mo had 100,000 low.grade Spirit Stones. He was very wealthy. This gave him the confidence to venture further and beyond. Chapter 18. The Banquet That Will Never End. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 18. The Banquet That Will Never End. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Uncle Wang and Wu Jin had been waiting outside for a long time. When Lin Mo appeared, the two of them said in unison, "Congratulations, young master. Your cultivation has improved once again." Lin Mo had been cultivating for a few days. During this period, many people came to visit or inquire about him. However, they were all rejected by Uncle Wang. Once again, Lin Mo was much stronger. This meant the time of separation was coming. As expected, he said, "Prepare to set off tomorrow." Uncle Wang did not utter a single word, but Wu Jin looked surprised. So soon. He wanted to say something else but hesitated. Lin Mo added, "Think about it carefully. Are you willing to come with me?" The two of them were about the same age. Uncle Wang came across Wu Jin by chance in Chushin village. He was average in terms of strength and had no interest in cultivation. Wu Jin was tactful and had a good sense of humor. Thus, Uncle Wang thought he was suitable for the auctioneer position. Even though they had only spent a short time together, Lin Mo admired this young man very much. He reminded him of his past self. If he did not cultivate, being an ordinary person like Wu Jin was a good option. As soon as Lin Mo finished speaking, Wu Jin replied without hesitation, "I'm willing." He was afraid that Lin Mo would go back on his words. Although Wu Jin was not powerful, he had a good sense when it came to judging people. Lin Mo was definitely not an ordinary person. He had already seen his potential. Sooner or later, the young master would be on top of the world. Wu Jin wanted to be by his side before it happened. After all, it was a good opportunity. Naturally, he had to seize it. Before long, most of the people had heard about Lin Mo's departure. The village chief, Li Yunfei, Huang Keegan, and many others waited for him at the village entrance. "Lin Mo, please stop. I didn't expect you to leave so soon. Aren't you going to stay for a while longer?" Lin Mo shook his head. Thank you for your kind intentions, but I've made up my mind. The village chief was a little disappointed, but he also understood where Lin Mo was coming from. Chushin village was too small and had limited resources. With the latter's current strength, he definitely would not stay for long. So, he put a warm smile on his face and took out something. This is a small token of my appreciation. I hope you'll accept it. The village chief was confident that Lin Mo's future would definitely be bright. Ideally, he wanted to keep a good relationship with him as there would be many benefits. After all, Li Yunfei gained 2 top-grade articles by just defending the young man. Obviously, Lin Mo could not refuse. Li Yunfei gave Lin Mo a big hug. Brother, don't forget about me. If you need my help, I will instantly rush over. It doesn't matter even if I have to travel thousands of miles. If Lin Mo could auction off his items in a large town, he would surely make a big profit. This was an opportunity the people in Chushin village did not have due to their limited assets. They could not compete with bigger factions. Anyway, be it Li Yunfei, Huang Qigan, or the others, they had all received Lin Mo's favor. Huang Qigan sighed. Originally, I wanted to have a good chat with you over some wine. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I have the chance this time. I hope that we can meet again in the future. We will definitely get drunk together. He felt some regret in his heart and wished that he had attended the previous auction. If he had also stood up against Scarface, he could have received glorious rewards like Li Yunfei. In short, it was too late. Everyone had a regretful expression on their faces as they bid Lin Mo farewell. Uncle Wang's eyes were red. He wanted to follow Lin Mo, but he was already old and frail. Moreover, he was not suited for long journeys. There was no way Lin Mo could bring him along. Although he was sad about the separation, he was happy for Lin Mo. In a tearful voice, he said, "Young master, you must take good care of yourself." This old butler had given all his warmth and love to the young man. They were basically family. Without a doubt, he was a very important person in Lin Mo's life. Lin Mo even made up his mind to find medical pills for Uncle Wang to extend his life. Since Uncle Wang did not have a high cultivation level, he would only be able to live for another 10 years at most. "Oh right, what are your plans?" asked the village chief. Lin Mo had nothing to hide. He answered, "I'm heading to Qinyang City." Qinyang City was about the same size as Lin City. However, it was not like Lin City where the Lin family was dominant. Instead, there were 4 great families that kept each other in check. Additionally, it was a place where merchants would gather. This was thanks to its geographical location. Thus, the city was rich in resources. There were many experts there as well. Most of them were crouching tigers or hidden dragons, TN. People with special hidden talents. The village chief nodded. It's a good place. Actually, there was another reason why Lin Mo picked Qinyang City. He wanted to increase his strength as soon as possible and avoid his family's assault. Hence, he planned to bypass Lin City and go straight to Qinyang City. Everyone was reluctant to part with Lin Mo, but they could only wish him well. Someday, their paths would cross again. Lin Mo and Wu Jin's figures gradually disappeared into the distance and from everyone's sight. Chapter 19. Qinyang City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 19. Qinyang City. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The Green City Gate was somewhat discernible. It was like a towering mountain range. The grayish-white walls looked worn out. Some parts had even fallen off and become mottled. These were all traces of time. Even so, it was difficult to conceal its former grandeur. There was a stone tablet covered in moss not too far away. The word Qinyang was written on it. Since the word was written with dragon and snake-like strokes, it exuded an ancient charm with indescribable pressure. Apparently, it was personally written by the first Qinyang City Lord and had 100 years of history behind it. Qinyang City is just in front of us. Lin Mo and Wu Jin could not help but quicken their steps. They arrived at the city gate and after paying a certain amount of spirit stones, both of them successfully entered the city. Come and take a look. This fur belonged to a tier 3 demonic beast. It's impervious to weapons, water, and fire. It's most suitable to be made into a defensive robe. Recovery pills are essential when traveling. Try one and you'll definitely want another. Sky Splitter, Star Shattering Hammer, and top-grade weapons are on sale. Don't miss this opportunity. There were hawkers everywhere. They filled up both sides of the street and were lined up in a row. It was a lively sight with people coming and going. Wu Jin rarely went on long journeys. His eyes could barely keep up with everything. He looked around and said excitedly, "There are so many things here." On the other hand, Lin Mo was much calmer. It was a little strenuous to collect tier 3 items in Chushin village. However, they were not particularly precious here. This was enough to show that the city had an abundance of resources. My decision to come to Qinyang City wasn't wrong. Perhaps it was because of the unfamiliar environment, but after his excitement died down a little, Wu Jin became cautious. "Young master, what should we do next?" Lin Mo already had plans. Since they were new to the city, they did not know the prices of things. Go and get more information about Qinyang City and its clans. Wu Jin was a little worried. With his level of strength, anyone could easily kill him. Finding more information and returning safely would be an issue. Lin Mo noticed he was anxious, so he added, "Don't worry, I'll get the lookout fish to protect you." Even if the lookout fish could not beat Wu Jin's opponent, they could still escape because of the fish's speed. Lin Mo's words reassured Wu Jin. Anyway, Lin Mo walked towards the center of Qinyang City. He wanted to see if there were any good shops. The center was the most bustling area. However, there were fewer pedestrians. It was not as lively as earlier. The people walking around this place were all well dressed. With just a glance, one could tell that they were wealthy. Lin Mo's clothes were ordinary, making him seem a little out of place. His luck was pretty good and he found a medium-sized auction house that was not doing well. The owner wanted to sell it off. After explaining his purpose, the staff hesitated for a moment before letting Lin Mo in. It was probably because his clothes were ordinary and his body did not emit a strong aura. When the owner looked at Lin Mo, he had a disdainful expression on his face. "What brings you here? Do you want to just look around? This is not a refugee camp." The staff who had let Lin Mo in felt awkward. He said that he wanted to buy the auction house. The owner glanced at Lin Mo and continued to look down on him. He could go bankrupt by just buying the bricks in that corner. Although he was ridiculed, Lin Mo stayed calm. He was used to people looking down on him. "How many spirit stones?" 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. The owner casually announced the price, thinking that it would scare Lin Mo away. He patiently waited for Lin Mo to reveal an embarrassing expression, but when that did not happen, he said in a sarcastic tone, "Is this a wet market to you? The price is not as cheap as cabbages. Why didn't you ask around?" Before he could finish his sentence, Lin Mo interrupted him. "Count and see if there's enough." He handed the owner his interspatial ring. The owner immediately recognized the item to be at least tier 7. His expression quickly changed. After all, no ordinary person could afford such a ring. Lin Mo took out 100,000 low-grade spirit stones without even batting an eye. The owner did not expect something like this to happen at all. In any case, the location of this auction house was not bad. There were already a few people who had inquired about the price, but they felt that it was too expensive. Thus, nobody bought it. Who knew that Lin Mo would agree to this price? You really want to buy it? Lin Mo did not want to further waste his breath. So, he directly asked, is it enough? The owner stammered. It's enough. Now, he felt embarrassed for mocking Lin Mo. This young man in front of him had just transformed into his biggest customer. He tried to say something to remedy the situation. Previously, I didn't know. Before he could even finish his words, Lin Mo interrupted indifferently, all right then. This is my territory now. You can scram. His words were not polite at all. However, it was the owner's own fault for looking down at him earlier. His face turned red. Lin Mo was probably a rich and powerful person with an impressive background. Offending him would be a bad idea. Hence, the owner could only swallow his anger and walk out of the auction house. The commotion earlier had attracted a crowd. People began to wonder about Lin Mo's identity. Chapter 20. Selling the auction house for 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. You're listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 20. Selling the auction house for 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. No wonder the owner had to sell the auction house. He was so tactless and mean. I bet he offended many people. It would be strange if he still had business. I wonder if the new owner can bring this auction house back to life. The people surrounding the auction house were discussing among themselves. They had a rough understanding of the original owner's temper. Based on what they said, it seemed that the auction house declined because of his horrid personality. Besides, the auction house was situated in a good location. There was no way it struggled for no reason. Anyway, after hearing the auction house was under new management, people came to check it out. Lin Mo took this opportunity to build up momentum for his first auction in Qinyang City. Our auction house will have Tier 5 top-grade resources. We await your patronage. This announcement caused quite a stir. Even in Qinyang City, there were not many resources at this grade. Really? Tier 5 top-grade resources. Is he just bragging? This person took out 100,000 low-grade spirit stones without batting an eye. It should be true that he wouldn't lie unless he had no plans of continuing his business. Exactly. No one would do something so foolish to ruin their reputation, right? There are two large-scale auction houses in this city and they form a barrier between each other. One of them belongs to the royal family while the other belongs to the Miao family. Is he actually from one of them? Everyone was speculating about Lin Mo's background. He was basically shrouded in a layer of mystery. They were excited for this auction house to be reopened. Just as Lin Mo was reorganizing the auction house, Wu Jin and the lookout fish returned. At first, Wu Jin thought the lookout fish had brought him to the wrong place. When he saw Lin Mo, he was quite taken aback. Wu Jin could not help but ask, what is this place? The auction house that I just bought. Upon hearing that, Wu Jin's expression turned dreamy. I think I haven't woken up yet. Pa, a crisp sound could be heard. The lookout fish swung its tail mischievously and hit Wu Jin on his face. A wave of coldness swept over him, waking the wistful man up. Who knew that Lin Mo would take over such a large auction house in such a short period of time? In comparison, the auction house in Chushin village seemed insignificant. It was like heaven and earth. There was no competition. Wu Jin got extremely excited. He looked around the place like a child in a candy store. When he thought about how he could auction items in such a large venue, he became a little eager. How's the situation on your side? Lin Mo's voice pulled him back to reality. Wu Jin rubbed his head embarrassedly. He almost forgot about official business. There are a total of 4 great families in Qinyang City. They are the Wang family, the Du family, the Huang family, and the Miao family. The strength of each family's head is peak level 9. There's also the possibility of elders in the family who have already broken through. Most of these elders cultivated behind closed doors and had not made a move for decades. Other than the core members of the family, ordinary people would not be able to get more detailed information about them. Wu Jin's expression became a little mysterious. Additionally, I've heard that these 4 big families are all related to the royal family in the imperial city. They keep sending top-quality resources to them. All the outstanding disciples of the family will also be recommended to the royal family. Among them, the Miao family is the most high profile and powerful. Apparently, the Miao family has a unique secret manual that allows them to complete the refinement of medicinal pills, herbs, and inner cores of demonic beasts. Even the resources that many of the younger generations of the royal family used for cultivation were provided by the Miao family. Therefore, the resources that the Miao family provide to the auction house does not lose out to those the royal family used. Wu Jin was overwhelmed with emotions. He did not expect Xinyang City to have so many hidden talents. The other 3 families kept a low profile. It's difficult to obtain more detailed information. However, they have connections with the royal family. This means they have their own strengths. Perhaps they could breed demonic beasts or own exclusive martial arts manuals. Maybe they can even tamper with weapons. After listening to Wu Jin's explanation, Lin Mo had a rough understanding of Xinyang City's circumstances. Oh, that's right. Wu Jin seemed to have remembered something. The lookout fish can completely turn invisible in the air, but when I was out and about, it appeared to have been seen by someone. These words immediately piqued Lin Mo's interest. Oh. There's actually someone with such abilities. Even though they had only brushed past each other, Wu Jin could still clearly remember that person's gaze. It was filled with pressure, so he left a particularly deep impression. Wu Jin nodded and said, although I don't know that person's identity, I did memorize his appearance. Lin Mo did not take it to heart. There were countless powerful people in Xinyang City. It was not strange that a few of them were able to discover the lookout fish. Oh right. The previous owner's staff are still working in this auction house. Take good care of them and avoid unnecessary trouble. Also, see if they can carry out their tasks properly. They must pass based on your standards. Wu Jin was Lin Mo's only attendant. He did not have enough manpower. So, for the time being, he decided to keep the previous staff. After all, the next auction was imminent. He might as well make do with them for now and slowly work his way up. These people had worked in the auction house for a long time, so they should be familiar with the process. They probably did not need further training and could immediately resume their posts. This would save Lin Mo quite a bit of time. Despite the heavy responsibility, Wu Jin was clearly thrilled. Don't worry, young master. Leave it to me.